Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ve bihi nesta'in. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecma'in.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. And from Him do we seek help. All praise be to Allah, the Sustainer of all the worlds, and blessings and peace be upon our Master Muhammad, and on all his family and companions. Second point. This explains in summary form a proof, one of many, proceeding from the testimony to the truth of resurrection of the other pillars of belief. It is as follows. All the miracles indicating the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and the evidences for his prophethood, and all the proofs of his veracity, together testify to the occurrence of the resurrection, and prove it. For after divine unity, everything he claimed throughout his life was centered on the resurrection of the dead. Also, all his miracles and proofs, affirming and making affirmed, all the previous prophets attest to the same truth. Also the testimony of the phrase,
Ve kutubihi,
and in his scriptures, which makes completely clear the testimony of the phrase,
Ve bi rusulihi,
and in his prophets, testifies to the same truth like this. All the miracles, truths and proofs, proving foremost the veracity of the Quran of miraculous exposition, testify to and prove the realization and occurrence of resurrection. For almost a third of the Quran is about resurrection, and at the beginning of most of its short surahs are powerful verses about it. It expresses the same truth explicitly and implicitly with thousands of its verses, and proves and demonstrates it. For example,
İze şemsu küvvirat, ya eyyühen nasu ttekû rabbakum, inne zelzeletes saati şey'ün azim, İze zulziletil ardu zilzâleha, İze semâ'un fetarat, İze semâ'un şakkat, amme yetesâlûn, hel etâke hadîsul gâşiyeh.
when the sun is folded up, O men, fear your sustainer. The trembling of the hour is an awesome event. When the earth is convulsed, when the heavens are torn asunder, when the heavens are torn apart, concerning what they dispute, has the story reached you of the overwhelming event. Besides demonstrating, with complete certainty at the beginning of 30 or 40 surahs, that resurrection is the most important and necessary truth in the universe, it sets forth various persuasive evidences for that truth in others of its verses. Is there any possibility that belief in the hereafter should be false, which emerges like the sun from the thousands of declarations and statements of a book of single indication of one of the verses of which has yielded before our eyes the fruits of numerous learned and cosmic truths in Islamic sciences? Is there any possibility of denying the sun or the existence of the universe? Would it not be impossible and absurd? Is it at all possible that although an army may sometimes be plunged into battle, so that a mere sign of a king should not be given the lie, to show as false the thousands of words, promises and threats of that most serious, proud monarch? Is it possible that they should be false? Although a single sign of that glorious spiritual monarch, who, for 13 centuries, without break, has ruled over innumerable spirits, minds, hearts and souls, within the bounds of truth and reality, and trained and raised them, would be sufficient to prove the truth of resurrection. It has demonstrated it with thousands of explicit statements. Is the torment of the hellfire not necessary then for the compounded idiot who does not recognize this fact? Is it not pure justice? Moreover, by their definite acceptance of the truth of resurrection, which the Quran, prevailing over the future and all times, repeatedly proves in detail and elucidates, all the revealed scriptures and sacred books, each of which dominated a particular period, proved it according to their own times and centuries, but in undetailed, veiled and summary manner, confirming with 1,000 signatures what the Quran teaches. Included here, since it is related to this discussion, is the testimony at the end of the third ray of the other pillars of faith, and particularly the prophets and Holy Scriptures, to belief in the last day. It forms a convincing proof of resurrection, and is in the form of a powerful yet succinct supplication, which dispels all doubts. It says in the supplication, "O my compassionate sustainer, I have understood from the instruction of your noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the teaching of the Quran, that foremost the Quran and the messenger and all the sacred scriptures and prophets have unanimously testified and pointed out that the manifestations of the names related to your beauty and glory, examples of which are to be seen in this world, will continue even more radiantly for all eternity, and that your bounties, samples of which are to be observed in this transitory world, will continue in the abode of bliss in more glittering fashion, and that those who long for them in this world will accompany them for all eternity. Also, relying on hundreds of evident miracles and decisive signs, foremost your most noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the all-wise Quran, and the prophets with their luminous spirits, and the saints who are spiritual poles with their light-filled hearts, and the purified scholars with their enlightened intellects, relying on your repeated threats and promises in all the sacred scriptures, and trusting in your sacred attributes like power, mercy, favour, wisdom, glory and beauty, and on your functions, and the dignity of your glory, and the sovereignty of your dominicality, and in consequence of their illuminations, and visions, and beliefs at the knowledge of certainty. Give the glad tidings to men and jinn of eternal happiness, and inform them of hell for the people of misguidance. They firmly believe this and testify to it. O all-powerful and wise one, O most merciful and compassionate, O munificent one, true to his promise, O all-compelling one of glory, one of dignity, grandeur and wrath, you are utterly exempt from and exalted above giving the lie to so many loyal friends, and so many promises and attributes and functions, and denying the certain demands of the sovereignty of your dominicality, and the endless prayers and supplications of your innumerable acceptable servants, whom you love and who attract your love by assenting to you and obeying you. And you are exempt from confirming the denial of resurrection by the people of misguidance and unbelief, who through their disbelief and rebellion and denial of your promises offend the magnificence of your grandeur, and affront your dignity and glory and the honour of your Godhead, and sadden the compassion of your dominicality. We declare your justice, beauty and mercy to be exempt from such infinite tyranny, such ugliness. We believe with all our strength that the testimony of the prophets, purified scholars and saints, who are those truthful envoys of yours, those heralds of your sovereignty, at the degrees of absolute certainty, knowledge of certainty, and the vision of certainty, to the treasuries of your mercy in the hereafter, and the stores of your bounties in the everlasting realm, and to the wondrously beautiful manifestations of your beautiful names, which will be manifested totally in the abode of bliss, are absolutely true and veracious, and what they have indicated confirms absolutely with reality, and that what they have given glad tidings of is true and will occur. Believing that the supreme ray of your name of truth, which is the source, sun, and protector of all realities, is this truth of the resurrection and great gathering, they teach it to your servants. O Allah, for the sake of what they teach and in veneration of it, grant us and all our students of the risale-i perfect belief and a happy death, and allow us to receive their intercession. Amen.